Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Alternate Point of View. My name is Tracy Lee and I am your host. So, wow, you guys, we are going to talk about the femme fatale of all femme fatales. That is Wendi Adelson. Yes, I said it, Wendi Adelson. Who knew? Who knew that she was and is such a femme fatale? I mean, I didn't know. I didn't know that she had it like that until I was listening to her testimony and listening to her, I guess, boyfriend at the time of this horrific crime, listening to his testimony. Uh, wow. Wow. Yeah. My fear in this entire matriarch murder trial of Donna Adelson that's happening right now is that Wendi may get off scot-free. Is that they are giving her this immunity deal for her testimony, for her to speak against her mother, sort of, kind of, the way that she did in Charlie's trial. Okay, so let's backpedal. All right, you guys. This has been going on for now 11 years. Dan Markel lost his life back in 2014. July 18th of 2014, you guys. That's how long this has been going on. Dan Markel was pew-pewed in his own driveway. He was a law professor at Florida State University. He had just dropped his kids off at daycare, gone to the gym, then arrived back home and hadn't even gotten out of his car yet, y'all, and was shot twice in the head, face, right between the eyes. It was awful. And like, who in the heck would want to do such a thing? You know, I mean, he's just a professor at a college. So it just came out of nowhere. And a neighbor heard it. I mean, it was in his house, at his house. So it's just weird, so strange. And the crazy thing is he lived, like, he lived for several hours. Okay, but they weren't able to save him. It was absolutely awful. Uh, so come to find out, the wild story that this rippled into was they brought in his estranged wife, Wendi Adelson, for questioning. She pinpoints her at the time boyfriend, could be jealous boyfriend. This all starts to culminate into, well, it could be, I'm going through this custody battle. The boyfriend is like, oh, well, she's going through this custody battle. They're going through a contentious divorce, custody battle. Well, then, the cops start to perk up and are like, it's kind of strange. But somehow, some way, Wendi gets all out of this unscathed, and it all points to her brother. Her brother. Why would her brother do this? At the end of the day, her brother ends up being put on trial. I believe last year, finally, her brother is put on trial. Only because her brother's girlfriend, this is so strange, y'all. This is a convoluted story. The brother employed his girlfriend, who employed her boyfriend, baby daddy, and his best friend, who are the ones who actually pew-pewed Dan Markel in his driveway. So all of these moving parts, okay, you have Wendi, which I just have to present this picture because this is the only way I can make this make sense in any way, shape, or form. Because if I don't, you won't be understanding. This is Charlie. This is Wendi. And who are these people? They're like, I don't know who these people are. These are their parents, Donna and Harvey. Where does Donna and Harvey fit in all of this? Well, Wendi is the estranged wife. Charlie, get this, he's the brother. There's more people. There's more people, y'all. Haven't even brought up Dan, the one who actually lost his life in all of this. This entire family, these are the Adelsons. They're the ones who basically got rid of Dan. They got rid of Dan. Wendi, is the only one so far, oh, and Harvey, who's going away unscathed. She's the only reason that Dan, she's the glue that held all of it together. She's the person that was connected to Dan and why Dan is no longer here. This entire story is just convoluted and baffling. Baffling. But wait, there's more. This story has been going on for 11 years. Longer, actually. 11 years just since Dan, God rest his soul, lost his life. But way longer. This entire family dynamic is even cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs crazier when you hear, when I explained to you, again, I said Dan was a law professor at Florida State University. When I tell you what kind of law professor and what else he did, this will shock you even more. Dan, y'all, Dan Markell was not just Wendi's husband, but also in this whole convoluted mess, y'all, this whole convoluted mess, you will see all these other people who were involved in this disaster. This whole convoluted mess, when you see all of the people involved, and you know what else Dan is a part of, and how else you're going to be the irony of this entire case. So Dan is the poor victim. Wendi is the wife. Donna is now on trial. She's the one on trial right now. These are old pictures, obviously. Charlie's already in prison. He was convicted last year. These are the two guys who actually did the deed. This was Charlie's girlfriend. Also, his girlfriend. Weird, but baby daddy, whatever. So Charlie got with her and basically was like, yo, I need somebody to take care of something. And she was like, hey, I know a guy. This guy. And this guy was like, hey, I got a buddy too. This guy. And they were like, yeah, for the right amount of money, we can take care of business. So he was like, I got money. And my mom's got money. My dad's got money. We got money. Sister's like, sweet. I got a family that will back me. And this problem will go away. Look at all of these people that are involved. Well, poor Dan has no idea that all of these people are plotting against him. And why? Why are they plotting against him? Why? Because apparently this one wants to move to Miami and be near all of her family. Because Dan lives in Tallahassee, where he's teaching at Florida State University. Now, Wendi acts like she is just this wallflower, this stupid, doesn't know her butt from the hole in the ground person. And I use the word person very, very lightly, because she acts like she don't know what is going on in the world without her mama telling her. That's how she acts on the stand. I don't even know how this one procreated, but somehow she did. But let me tell you, and Wendi's an attorney, y'all. She is a lawyer. But she acts like she doesn't fart without somebody telling her to. So apparently, she doesn't do anything without mama's permission. That's how she's making it sound. And this entire convoluted plan was her mama and Charlie's idea. I don't know why Charlie would care one way or the other if Dan was here or not, but I guess he did. And Charlie funded it. So, yes, they got rid of Dan, and Wendi literally moved to Miami, lickety split, like the next day. And no one seemed to care that Dan was no longer on this earth. Super weird. And no one seemed to care who did it. Anyhow, Wendi is very la-di-da, nothing, whatever. Could have been my current boyfriend. He's pretty jealous. Oh, it may be not him. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Well, my brother Charlie, he was joking around about, he would have hired a hitman, but he got me a television instead. I don't know. Weird. Needless to say, they figured it out because this one talked. These guys confessed. They all worked out a deal. Charlie is now in prison. And then Mama decided to buy a one-way ticket to Vietnam after Charlie got convicted and she got busted. Now she's on trial. Yeah. But what's interesting is that Wendi here has such a way with words. Such a way to not incriminate herself. And the great thing is that what they tried to do was frame her at the time boyfriend. So she conveniently had a boyfriend that she was seeing, that she kept dragging along long enough that she could say she had a boyfriend, say she was seeing someone, so that when this all came about, she could have someone to have on the back burner to give to police. But it didn't work out the way they had planned. So I want to play this guy's testimony that he gave today, because whoa, This is when I saw that Wendi is a piece of work. And she is not just, y'all, I don't want to say, I mean, femme fatale, she's something. She's something. But this family is messed up. And did you guys know there's another brother? I wasn't even aware of the other brother. And I didn't watch and follow the last trial very, very closely, obviously, because I didn't know there was another brother. But this boyfriend testimony is shocking to me, because how did you not see all these red flags? I mean, this dude literally was almost framed for murder. And you didn't, and you stuck around. You stuck around with this woman. You stayed. So I want you to hear all of these red flags. And he just stayed with her. Just kept dating her. Like a dummy. First of all, she was going through a divorce. A horrific custody battle. She hated Tallahassee. Like, hated it. And wanted to move. That's all she talked about, was moving away. And broke down in tears crying to the point she had to end their date on their second date. And you didn't run for the hills, dude? You didn't run for the hills. No, he did not. He did not run for the hills. I would have ran.
Okay, what happens as you walk away?
Get about 10, 15 feet away from her, and she calls after me. I turn around, and she had a series of detailed questions about what I would be doing on Friday. I had a trip to Tennessee planned, and she wanted to know if I was going on that trip.
So this is when the last time they saw each other before Dan was taken out. They met up to go to yoga, which he said they never do. And they were at yoga for like 80 minutes. And they didn't even talk the whole time. And he was like, this is weird. What are we doing at yoga? And then they left. And they go to their separate vehicles, and he's just like, okay, I guess we're done here. And this is the end of when they're separating to go their separate ways.
And she wanted to know what route I would be taking. And if I didn't go on the trip, why wouldn't I go on the trip? And I answered the questions as best I could, but I was confused why at that moment she wanted to know the details of what I was doing on Friday, when she expressly didn't want to spend time with me on Friday.
Okay, and we now know that Dan Markell was murdered on Friday.
Yes.
Right? If you had taken the trip as planned, which is as you reported to Wendi that day, what would your route have been?
I would have left my house at about 11 a.m., which Wendi knew. I'd related my plan to her earlier in the relationship. Needed to get to Atlanta for dinner and was worried about traffic and stuff like that. So I would have left at 11, and I would have driven down. I would have got to Capitol Circle in Thomasville, which is close enough to Danny's house that it kind of gave me the creeps. It was kind of weird. Yeah.
Okay. So physically, you're saying you might have been sort of consistent with how the killers fled town.
Yeah.
Okay. And after this yoga date and the discussion of your travel plans, did you get an email from Wendi?
I did.
I'm going to publish what's been introduced into evidence as states 64 GG. Is this the email she sent you after the yoga date?
Yes.
All right, so is she breaking up with you? Is that clear?
No, she's asking, well, I considered based on our interaction, I thought this is over. I had told Wendy if she wanted to break up with me, She doesn't like confrontation. Just send me an email or text.
Okay. First of all, this dude said, if you want to break up with me, send me an email or text if she didn't want a confrontation. Chica, you don't want to be with me? Año, we ain't got to do all that. Dude, be a man. Be a man and just be like, I'm done here. I am done here. I don't need to hear nothing from you. We ain't got to go on a non-speaking yoga date. We ain't got to do all that. No, but he's still hanging on. He's what the But let's continue with this guy.
She sends me this, which strings everything out for a week. So she's not breaking up. Functionally, that's realistically, I'm not dumb. I'm thinking we're over.
You're dumb.
But she's asking for another week, which brings it to the 21st of July. And I was puzzled. I wondered what in the world is going to happen July 21st, but I just didn't respond because she asked for no contact.
All right. So she wants to have no contact for a week.
Right.
What the? Okay. What? I'm not breaking up with you, but don't call me for a week. Say what now?
Okay. All right, I was able to find that photo I was looking for earlier, 86A.
This dude.
You recognize 86A?
Yeah, that's Wendy's Adelson's residence on Aqua Ridge, and that's what it looked like when we were dating.
Okay. Moving evidence 86A.
Any objection? There you are. 86A is admitted at this time.
May I publish?
You may.
All right, so I blurred the boys' faces, but this is how the residents at Aqua Ridge appeared.
Yes.
And the kids' art that's shown on the wall here, was that present during the time that you were dating Wendi Adelson?
Yes.
Was it something that like, art would come down, other art would go up, or was it pretty fixed?
It was maybe some art would get added, but I never saw any come down until July 14th.
He said she asked for no contact. No contact.
Both times hitmen are in town trying to kill Danny Markel, once successfully, obviously.
Are you
Yeah.
familiar with the type of vehicle that was originally rented by the killers in June to make that June trip?
I am.
And was that significant to you?
Yeah, this is long after this all happened. I'm learning this from court proceedings in 2016. But when I heard they rented a gray Altima initially, I had a 2004 Nissan Sentra. That freaked me out because that's about as close as you were going to get to my car on the rental market.
I'm going to show you what I marked as state's demonstrative exhibit G. You recognize this exhibit?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is this the make and model of it's not the actual rental car, but the make and model of the rental car compared to the make and model of your vehicle?
Yeah, my car's right on top. That looks just like the car I had at the time.
Permission to publish. G,
This
Your
chick
Honor.
tried to frame him. I mean,
I have one more moment.
look at Donna Adelson. She's like, yep, damn it, it didn't work. Damn it.
No further questions, Judge.
Cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor, just a moment.
Like, dang it, it didn't work.
The state has called the grandmother motion.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know how she took that?
It was, I'm hearing this stuff from Wendy.
Okay.
Um,
Well, do you know how she took it?
I wasn't there to observe her reaction. The whole family was upset about every one of these motions, was my impression
The whole family.
information coming from Wendy.
Okay. And so the only person that you spoke with about how the family took things was from Wendy.
Putting Charlie's,
Aside from Charlie in the hospital,
aside from Charlie in the hot tub, it was all through Wendy. That's correct, sir.
isn't it true that you found Wendy? Let me find the exact quote.
To all bailiffs, United States Marshals, the FBI.
I don't know what happened. It's so funny. Oh man. Chicken a red dress. So anyway, as you can see, Wendy seems to have like her claws into, I mean, Dan, when he was married to Wendy, they got married in 2006, and he was writing a book, and he published a book called Privilege or Punishment, Criminal Justice and the Challenge of Family Ties. The irony of this book, you guys, and it's on Amazon, and I'm actually trying to look through this book, and it's over 173 pages just to check this book out. It is just to look at the initial book parts of the book, but it's actually about the justice system, the criminal justice system, and the privilege that's given to family members in the during a criminal proceeding. Like, for instance, if you're married to someone, and how that person can't testify against you because you're married, and how that privilege affects a trial. So let's say if you are in a domestic dispute and that person can't testify against you because you're married to that person, the evidence that the evidentiary stuff that can't be used against that person. So how that affects a criminal case. So I haven't been able to delve too deep into this book, but what I'm gathering is how that hurts a criminal case. There was a situation in New York where a guy took someone's life, and his family flew him to Israel, and he was able to evade prosecution because his family got him overseas before he was able to be found out who did it. And his family also flew to Israel, and Israel would not bring him back extradite him back to the United States. So they were able to get away with that. And they basically said, well, before we're citizens, we're family first. And they wouldn't turn their son in. So Ted Kaczynski, his brother turned over his writings, and his brother, who was against the death penalty, he turned over his writings and said, hey, as long as you don't give him the death penalty, I'm willing to tell you whatever else you want to know. But of course they were like, we're going to do the death penalty. It's going to be a capital case. But that was something that the family was like, we don't want to do that. Also, there's a lot of family that are like, well, we're willing to work something out. Well, ironically, look at this. Look at this case. Look at the Adelsons. Wendi Adelson is getting immunity. She's getting limited immunity if she tells something. If she tells something, Donna Adelson, Charlie Adelson, all of these Adelsons, they're able to get something. I mean, if they just tell something, look at the the actual criminals. So there's all kinds of little, if you give us this, we'll give you this. So there's something with the family, there's the family ties, there's the family burden. So if you look at his book that he wrote with a couple of other people, they're talking about privilege or punishment. Which outweighs the other? Does the privilege outweigh the punishment, or the punishment outweigh the privilege? So they're looking at the family tie or the family burden. So the family burden is if that person is the main caretaker over the person, the people that do they need that person more? So it's a really interesting dynamic, this book. So I was reading just a little bit, trying to get an idea. So it's very interesting that Dan Markel, because he was a criminal justice professor, he went to Harvard. He's originally from Canada. His dream was to go to Harvard, was to eventually end up back at Harvard. He was teaching at Florida State. I don't think that's where he wanted to actually end up being. He actually dedicated that book to Wendi, who was his everything, is what it says in that book. It's very strange to me that Wendi did not see Dan as her everything the way he saw her. I don't know what their marital problems were. I think it's very sad that they couldn't work out their marital problems. I don't know him. I don't know her. Obviously, I think it says that they went to marriage counseling. I think it's really sad that they had such a tumultuous relationship. I think that her family had a lot of influence. I think that to me, I don't know her, seems to be very unwilling to compromise, just based off of her personality, the way she seems in court, and just also based off the fact that what she said when she got married was that she didn't feel like she even liked him and that she wasn't in love with him. And I think that he really loved her because he literally dedicated that book to her. She's in print in that book to Wendi, his love, to his everything. And I mean, they had kids together, and he was much more wanting to work things out amicably and be adult about the situation. And she was just not. She was throwing daggers at him during the entire custodial battle. And when you have people like her mom, I've been in that type of situation as well. So I know exactly what that situation is like and how toxic that is and how awful that is. I mean, I know what it's like to be Dan, or to be in that situation. I just know it's awful. And that is, man. So I feel for him. I feel for that entire situation. The kids are the ones that suffer the most. And I can tell when Wendi was on the stand and the prosecutor was asking her, your kid, or no, the defense attorney, actually, not even the prosecutor, the defense attorney was coming at her and saying, so your kids don't have their father in their everyday life, in their day-to-day life. And she said, well, yeah, he's not here every day. Now, chick, he's not here. Because she basically said, I don't agree that he's not here. He's not in their lives. Say what now? Like, lady, he is not here. He is not here. She was trying to make it sound like, oh, well, his influence is there. His influence, it's not like he's not around. I mean, he's around. Lady. So Wendi Adelson something is wrong with her. And I feel sorry. I feel terrible that her kids probably, they don't know. And I think that's very sad. And I just feel like all of this hoopla and this media and this everything that has happened, I don't even know if they have any contact with Dan's family. I don't know. I think it's terrible. And I think it's terrible. This has been going on for 11 years. And I'm sure that, I don't know. I don't know if Wendi is ever going to see the side of the courtroom where she's sitting behind the defense table. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. If this is going to just keep dragging out until all of them are behind bars or not. But this is just, it's shocking. There's more of this trial that's going to keep happening. There's more things that I want to keep talking about where it comes to this. I didn't think I was going to talk about this trial, but it's just something that after watching Wendi do this testimony and then watching this guy, the ex-boyfriend of hers, when I realized that he was actually framed, or they tried to frame him not once, but twice for this. And they actually tried to get a vehicle that looked just like his the first time, and they weren't successful. And then the second time, if he hadn't left the night before to go to Tennessee, they almost would have been able to frame him for this. They would have been able to say it was him. If he hadn't got a flat tire on the way to Tennessee, I mean, this would have, it almost would have been, it may have worked. It may have worked. So this was, they were trying to do it. They were trying to pin it on Jeff. It's pretty wild. It's not far-fetched. It's pretty wild. But the fact that he didn't see the red flags of Wendi, I mean, my God. A divorcee and a horrible custody battle with 2 kids, and all she did was cry and complain about how much she hated to be there. Dude, run. Red flag, red flag, red flag. Get out. And then all her family does is complain about the ex-husband. Oh my gosh, come on. This guy, glutton for punishment. I mean, of course you should have seen they were going to try to frame you for murder. Okay. All right. We're going to do some videos tomorrow. I will see you. Maybe we might do live. Charlie might get on the stand. I don't know. We'll see. But I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Kamsahamnida.